Everybody, it's Chris over at Dixieland Farm, and ProgHat's came up with a very simple thread. Talk about your 2 favorite albums and 2 questions. Do you still listen to it? And how many different formats do you happen to have it on? And I'm like, I came up with my answers. I'm like, these are very common albums. And of course that's Edward's point, right? And Edward and I talked about this back and forth. That we're afraid to show common albums that you probably have or know, and why. There's a reason why they sold in the millions, and there's no shame in talking about something that we all probably already know about, and maybe you don't, and maybe you want to hear my thoughts on it. So don't be afraid to show something very common. And my favorite album is the White Album. Of course, this could be just a blank album, you wouldn't know, but if you look really closely, it probably says the Beatles around here somewhere. There it is, embossed. And this is the 2014, I think. If I got my math right, I'm not sure. Stereo reissue. Sounds wonderful. This was a Christmas gift from Dave, DJ Thunder, 1970. Yeah, my favorite album. I enjoy its variety. I do listen to it because the 50th anniversary came out recently, I guess technically 2 years ago. And getting that digitally, I've gone through and listened to different demos. And I've had demos throughout the years I don't even know in here. Matter of fact, that's... He said show the stuff and I should show it. So this is a bootleg called the Little Red Album of stuff. So demos and different takes. And of course I do have the demos of 1968, what is now known as the Escher demos. This cost me quite a penny back in the day, in the 90s. Now this is unnecessary because it comes on the 50th anniversary set. And so 5 CDs, including the Escher demos, but these don't sound nearly as good as this, obviously. And 3 other CDs of alternate takes and as they work out the songs. Yeah, my favorite album is the White Album. The variety, I think all of George's songs are strong. I think all of John's songs are strong, and most of Paul's songs are strong. Some are throwaways, but even the throwaways are charming. There's only one stinker on the album, and that is Good Night. The album should have ended at Revolution 9. That would have been apocalyptic. It would have been a huge statement, but then the syrupy Good Night nonsense with Ringo. So the album ends at Revolution 9 for me. Wonderful album. There is nothing that I would cut except for Good Night, obviously. Yeah, and even some of the weaker songs in the context of the album are wonderful. Like Birthday, right? I mean, that's a throwaway song, if there ever was one, but in the context of the album, it's great and it's fun to hear it. Helter Skelter, definitely one of the beginnings of metal, I would say. I mean, that thing is heavy, right? It's great. Yeah, and I mean, how great is the album? There was a whole death cult related to it. The White Album. Second album would be the Beach Boys, Pet Sounds. This is the 1974 reissue. You could also get this as a twofer with Carl and the Passions. So this would be on one side, Carl and the Passions would be on the other, but I have the rarer single version of Pet Sounds. This is the second best copy to get. This is a tube cut mono on Brother Records, a division of Warner Brothers. And yeah, the best version is the DCC Steve Hoffman version, which is impossible to get, and if you could get it, it's way too much money for what it is. So yeah, Pet Sounds is definitely my second favorite album. I also have the Pet Sounds Sessions, which is a 3 CD set, 4 CD set, 4 CD set. So it includes a mono and a stereo mix, plus a bunch of outtakes, a wonderful book. And look what I did. I apparently squirreled away Pet Sounds' 50th anniversary when we saw him perform it live. I didn't know I did that. Aren't I the coolest? Aren't I also the coolest that I squirreled away a tribute to Brian Wilson? This was from 2001, March 2001. My wife got this. Van Dyke Parks was in the audience, Billy Joel was in the audience. And that was when Brian was just starting to come out of his shell. And there is apparently the Radio City program. And it's got this great book, The Making of Pet Sounds, and of course there are documentaries about Pet Sounds. And wouldn't it be nice? Just what a way to start the album. Of course, a different version. Here's the Duophonic Stereo, which I got is winning a prize from a contest. I can't remember, back 9 years ago. I don't remember the guy's name who gave it to me because he left soon after, and he only made 10 videos, I think, in the whole time. But yeah, there's the 1966 Duophonic original issue on Rainbow Capital. Yeah, so I got into that in the 90s. I started getting into Brian Wilson in that period, and that's when I also got into Smile. Smile, we got the double LP set here of Smile. It's called the Smile Sessions. They basically assembled the best they could, what was left of the tapes. I don't know if all of you know the story of Smile, but the project was abandoned mostly due to the other brothers and cousins not quite understanding what Brian was getting at, and the music was getting way too far out there for a simple pop band. They put so much pressure on him that he had kind of a nervous breakdown. Van Dyke Parks left the project. This was the original CD bootleg I had from back in the day in the early 90s. I paid $30 for it apparently. It says it comes with a poster. I don't believe it. This was really hard to get and a rarity, could be before the internet, that you could actually hear what Brian was doing, because he had released Smiley Smile. This is on a twofer. And Smiley Smile sounds like the demo of Smile, but it's not. It was recorded afterwards and recorded in, I think, their basement or one of their houses. And it's way low key and not nearly as ornate and production heavy as Smile, which is a masterpiece. It's also another twofer of Wild Honey here, which came out around the same time. So Smiley Smile, Wild Honey, and because of these other twofers, your friends in 2020, they all get kind of smushed together. It's hard to say 5 albums are 6 albums are your favorite album, but I mean it all does get a little blended together in that late 60 period of the Beach Boys. So it's the twofer on CD. Here's my original Beach Boys CD, which had 3 bonus tracks, and there's the Brian Wilson version of Smile. So Brian Wilson went and re-recorded the entire thing with his band and made a version of Smile, because they still were jerks about Smile, most of Mike Love. So yeah, what do I like about the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds? Besides the music being extremely sophisticated, and besides the music having lots of different strange instrumentation for a pop album, including bicycle horns, bicycle bells, sleigh bells, a theremin, even though it's not really actually a theremin that's on Good Vibrations. It is on this one. It's an instrument that's close to it, but it's not. Yeah, and bass harmonicas, it's crazy stuff. And of all the versions I've shown that Smile. I also have the box set of Smile digitally. It's what, 5 CDs, I think, right? So you get the demos and stuff like that, so I've got that digitally as well. Every song on Pet Sounds is a masterpiece. I can listen to that album anytime, and yes, I still do listen to it all the time, several times a year. The White Album, I will admit, I put away for 15 years due to overexposure, but now I do listen to it once or twice a year. Tommy, is that, or Edward, which are you? You were Prog Rock Tommy, now you're Prog Hat, but you're always Edward. Edward, does that answer your question? I hope so. I hope other people join this thread and talk about even comment albums and talk about their 2 favorite albums. While I didn't really describe the music too well, I did describe the confines of the thread. But all right, let's. Both albums in common have variety, right, of either instrumentation or of songs. Beach Boys has got that melancholy that I certainly identify with, but it's also hopeful and even a little wistful, which is also certainly like me. That sounds like why I like it. That sounds better. We'll go with that. From Excellent Farm, everybody. Take care.